is it the one in the military's on time? How's it going, guys?
Hello, hello.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome, everyone, to the best Wednesday afternoon and
Ever.
evening show for women on our Fuel Network. It's the A Team with RC. I am Amber. Up there next to me is Amanda. And right down below in between the both of us is the one with the most sense. That's RC. Y'all can't miss her. Welcome. How y'all doing tonight, ladies?
We're good. I'm good. How are you, RC?
I'm doing amazing because I have this beautiful background. Thank you, Amber.
Why? Did you send it to her? Because yours is missing now.
Yeah, did I steal yours?
No.
No,
I sent you a new one.
It's when you have a flood in your apartment and you got to get out.
Yeah, I know.
So sorry about that, people. But yeah, what is this, our fourth show now?
Yeah, 4. A very lucky number in most Asian cultures.
That's right. So I kind of want to switch things up a little bit tonight.
All right, what you got?
So with this being the all-women show, I want to start obviously thanking both of you for being a part of this all-women show because it really means a lot to me, but I think it means a lot to those women out there that are watching us. But I think what I want to talk about tonight has to do with us and the impact that women have on sports and what we do on an everyday basis, as women to help our children to succeed in the game of sports, to even help other women to understand the game of sports. And so I kind of wanted to take this opportunity for both of you, and then I'll go last, to kind of talk about, with our children and how sports relates to you and how you came about loving sports and what drives you, as a woman to want to do a show like this. Like what is it in your everyday life, whether it's good, bad, ugly, the challenges that we go through on an everyday basis. So I don't know who wants to take it first, but go ahead. Marcy?
Go, RC, get on
I'll
it.
go first. So I don't know if you can see my shirt, but I'm wearing a different shirt today. Maybe I'll move that phone down a little bit. But if you can see there, I put my title, which is bilingual speech language pathologist, right? So that's what I do. And I tell people that's not only what I do, that's who I am, right? And so I'll just give my personal story about my daughter. So she just loved being part of a team, but she could not kick, catch, throw a ball to save her life. So we tried every sport. We tried volleyball. We tried basketball. We tried flag football. And she loved being part of it, but she would fall. Her shoes would be untied, and she just couldn't get it, right? So after years and years of trying, and she never gave up, she was in middle school, and she was like, Mom, I love being on the team, but I can't kick, catch, or throw a ball, right? So she goes, I'm going to be an athletic trainer. I go, what? She goes, I'm going to talk to coach and see if I can do that. And so in middle school, she talked to the coach, and the coach says, well, we don't really have athletic trainers, but you could be our assistant, right? So she wore the lanyard with all the keys, right? And she would catch the balls that went off the court. She helped with the towel. She did whatever she could to help that team. She rode the bus. And so when she went to high school, she excited about her first freshman classes and all that. And she's like, can I be a athletic trainer? And they're like, well, we don't let freshmen be athletic trainers because they have to take a course first. And the coach was like, but if you really want to, you can come during the summer. And it's Texas heat. Come before practice, in the morning practice, stay for the practice, stay after practice, come back for the evening practice, before practice, during the practice, and after practice. And I remember when that coach told her that, I thought, is he trying to discourage her? Like, what are you trying to do, right?
2-a-days,
There she
baby,
was, as a
2-a-days.
freshman. She went there in the heat before practice. She got the Gatorade. She got the equipment ready. She stayed for the practice. She stayed after the practice. I picked her up, brought her back like 4 hours later. She did the same thing. So when school started, they said, you have shown such dedication that you're going to be our first freshman athletic trainer for the high school. So we have
Nice.
a picture of her in the locker room because she was the athletic trainer for 4 years. Now you think she would, get all straight A's. She was on the honor roll. She would go to the game. She covered football. She covered the girls' softball. She did all the sports. When it came to her senior year, they said, "Oh, you know what? You didn't get a PE course." And she's like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I was athletic trainer for 4 years for all the sports, at the practices, after practice, during all the games." They're like, "Yeah, that doesn't count." So as a senior, she had to take a PE course because they said all her work didn't count for a 0.5 grade.
Wow.
So it was like horrible and very discouraging for her. She went to college and she studied athletic trainer one semester. And she's like, "You know what, Mom? I don't want to do this." And I was like, "Oh my God, child, what are you doing?" So to make a long story short, she ended up going under sports management with a minor in marketing. She graduated master's summa cum laude 4.0, and she just loves being part of a team. Right now, this is her second year as an intern with the San Antonio Gunslingers. So she's not even getting paid. That's what true love is. And I say this because not every person is an athlete. But that doesn't mean they can't be part of the team, that they can't contribute to the failures, to the success, to the wins, putting in all that hard work. So I just wanted to share that because I know we do cover football and we do cover the athletes, but there's so much behind the scenes that we don't see. So I just wanted to share that. I'm so proud of my daughter. And that's why I actually started podcasting, because I wanted to make connections for her. I wanted to be a good role model for her. And I made that connection, not because I know the X's and the O's and the offense and the defense and what's a penalty and what's not, but I know the passion of standing behind someone and encouraging them, and know how difficult that is when they're not doing well, when they're not getting the credit they deserve. And so I want to be every player's mama. I love it when the players call me Mama RC because that's who I am. You know what I mean? I'm not this podcaster. Don't ask me about stats. I'm not that person, and I don't want to fake it. I don't want to portray someone I'm not. I am the biggest cheerleader for every single athlete that's on that field. Doesn't matter what team, because these men and even females, because I've talked about this during our first podcast, they need all of us. We're a whole village. We have to support that team. And the other aspect that I want to talk about is that I've met a lot of players, not necessarily in the UFL, but different leagues, where they often say, "Well, I never had the grades to go to college. Well, I didn't really make it because college was really hard." And I know as a parent and as a mother, we push for them to do their best. But sometimes we forget that education aspect of it, right? And as a speech language pathologist, there's things that if we do them on a daily basis and it's functional, kids will retain it. And I'm talking about players. And so I kind of wanted to say, talk about, I'm not perfect, things that I could have done better as a parent. I could have read more to my child, right? Reading is so important. Vocabulary is
Uh-oh.
so important.
She is.
Did you get
You
that?
cut out for a
So,
second, RC.
so
Go ahead.
vocabulary is so important. Using things logical. So a lot of times we're reading while we're driving, but we're not reading out loud. So students are thinking, well, when am I ever going to use that? I never used to see my mom using math or reading. So we have to do self-talk where we're actually talking out loud. So we can say, "Hey, look, Valero, the gas is 222 and Shell, it's 250. Which one makes more sense?" Right?
Mhm.
You know what? The gas is 250. I only have $20. How many gallons are we gonna have to put in? We do that mentally, but the kids never see that. And if they don't see us using it, how are they going to make that connection from what I'm learning at school to what I can use in life, right?
Right.
Other things that we can do, board games. So for example, really like I understand a lot of these kids are on videos. That's great. Take some of that time, play categories. That's a great vocabulary game. Scrabble. How many times have that was an old I'm older, right? And that was a game that we grew up on. Bring that game back. Puzzles. No one's doing puzzles anymore, but that gets your eye coordination, like what's similar, what goes together. Other games is taboo. All of this is encouraging vocabulary, encouraging education, encouraging that grades are important. I don't want to meet another football player to say, I had the skill, I had the talent, I just didn't have the grades. So just as we every morning we take our kids to practice and we pick them up after practice and we're encouraging, we also need to encourage education. We need to encourage reading. We need to encourage expressive and receptive language. We need to increase vocabulary, synonyms, antonyms, adjectives. Use those words at home because those are some of the holes or the gaps that some of these athletes are missing. So again, two things, always um, encourage and use functional communication and stress the importance of both. Being a great athlete, listening to your coach, being respectful, but also that vocabulary and that education. So that was just my little personal experience trying to tie in what I do, who I am as a professional, as a parent, and the gaps that I see after 6 years of meeting all of these wonderful athletes and parents.
I love that.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I can just say this too, RC, with what you were kind of talking about. In our everyday life, it's a routine, right? We get up, we brush our teeth, we bathe, we do whatever, right? A lot of us have that same routine to the point where it's not really life anymore. It just becomes like a repetition of
Second
everything.
nature.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
just all of our second nature where we don't have the opportunity to really take a step back and see everything that is done, has been done, all of the beautiful things that have come from any of these situations or, out of the realm routines that we do, that then when you look back on it, you're like, I wish I would have just stopped, absorbed it, and used with that, with what I could have done with it. Like I feel like in our everyday life, it's even we brush our teeth the same. We do we do everything the same. That it's
Mhm.
like just one little change can make all the difference in the world. And I think with a lot of these athletes too, and with us as women, it's easy for us to get into those routines. It's easy for us to do certain things, and we do sometimes what is easy, right? We do whatever is easiest because that's what gets the job done. And but at the same time, it's about time. It's about making that time. It's about building relationships. It's about having that rapport with all of these people. And like with your daughter, she's probably very able to do a lot of these different things now because she has built that rapport for herself. She has put her name out there. She has been able to achieve all of these things. But the best part about it is that she did it herself
Mhm.
and she got herself there. But without supporters and people like you to help her get to that point, that can be hard for a lot of people. So I think with moms, we live our everyday lives. We don't realize everything that we're doing, but the impact of what we do every day does pay off. And we do see it in our children. And that is really special. So I think when we see these athletes play, and I can't wait to have some moms of these athletes on to talk about their experiences with their children too, to kind of get that feeling of what all they had to do to themselves because
Mhm.
their child wouldn't be where they're at today if it wasn't for other people. Even if it's not just mom, it could be a teacher, it could be a coworker. There's always that person in your life that impacts you to get to that point. And so I think with your daughter taking all these strides and all these amazing things that she's doing, it clearly is paying off. But she did it with the support of you. So I think that that's really cool. And I love what you do, obviously.
Oh, thank you.
Love
Thank you,
speech
thank you.
pathologists. I think this is great, knowing from me with my son. But anyway, but yeah, that's my little spiel on that one.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing.
Amber, you want to go next?
I can't speak on kids in sports because my kiddos never did sports, ironically enough. I had 1 year of Pee Wee football, and he was like, "No, I don't want to do this." But I mean, they accomplished in other ways, band, cooking. They found their passions in other activities. I can speak as an athlete growing up. I did cross country, track, volleyball. Ironically enough, I was the only female high school football player when I was in. I had to fight the school board to allow me to play, and it took my 8th grade middle school coach coming up into high school going, "No, she can handle it." And it was a couple of weeks of a bunch of teenage boys going, "We're going to hurt her so bad. She's never going to play." Only to find out I ended up with a football team of big brothers. So it was pretty awesome feeling, and it prepared me to pursue passions that I didn't realize I had, one of which was keeping kids out of trouble. And when I was in high school, I started ROTC, junior ROTC in my high school. So we could keep kids out of gang violence situations and trying to get them to set up for better life choices. And as a result, we had quite a few kids graduate and move on to join the military, myself included. And it was an amazing thing. I will say that being an athlete, you've got discipline there, you've got routine in there, you've got to learn to push yourself. You're not only competing against other players, you're competing against yourself, your skill set, you're competing against the clock sometimes. And it allows you to get out of your own mindset and kind of regroup and force yourself to be better than you were the day before. And I always tell, I've coached girls softball, not knowing I never played softball in school or anything like that, but I coached girls softball. And it wasn't because I knew it. It's because these girls needed a coach and they needed somebody to step up and help out. And, my husband helped out, my brother helped out, and he was head coach. I was in charge of the calisthenics and making sure that they understood what was going on with body and how different workouts could help in different ways. And even with the parents, nutrition being a big part of it, hydration being a huge part of it. Don't think that Gatorade is the best thing for you all the time. How you need to carbo load before you go running a track meet or playing in a long tournament or anything like that. And those kinds of aspects, it carries, how to be a good winner as well as a good loser, how to be integrity, knowing to play by the rules, even if nobody's looking. Those are all aspects that you learn in athletics. I gotta say, my dad was a huge contributor to it. My mom was a huge contributor to it. They made sure I was there at the school at 4:30 in the morning so I could get cross country practice in and then go and do after school athletics, and didn't pick me up till 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, so it's dedication on all parts. And, looking back on it, I'm glad I did it. I loved it. I made some great friends and had some wonderful lifelong friendships that have blossomed out of it. My best friend today, Veda Stillwell, no longer Stillwell, but back to Stillwell. Anywho's, her and Michelle, old volleyball team from middle school, and we still talk to this day. It's amazing. Wow. We've watched each other's kids grow up. They've seen me become a grandmother, and I'm able to take those things and pass them on to my grandchildren and my nephew. playing catch and playing tag and giving him the bike without the pedals so he can learn to balance. It's all those fun little things and repetition that you're learning, and watching their eyes light up when they actually make that catch for the first time or throw a spiral for the first time. It's pretty amazing to see the development go on as a coach, knowing the hard work that they put in and the meaning of fail. And I keep failing, and I'm like, fail's an acronym, guys. First attempt in learning. You are always going to fail. You're going to fail and fail again. And if anyone tells you that they didn't, they're lying to you. Fail is just an acronym, guys. And tell your kids that it's okay to fail. It's all right. That's how you learn. And it's seeing that and knowing that they can't be defeated despite hardships, learning to overcome the obstacles and keep pursuing. That is where I got my pride as a coach and as an athlete. I enjoyed it. It was amazing. I still carry a lot of that discipline now.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, I have a question for you, Amber. So growing up, I'm sure there weren't that many, if any, female football players. Who were your role models back then? Because now, I mean, who what made you think that you could do that? What gave you that strength, that ambition, that you said, you know what, I don't have any role models, I don't see any other female football players, but I think I can do that?
First and foremost, I gotta say, my mom, she taught me that no matter what is there, if the road is for the boys, then honey, you make your own road. You make your road for the girls. My dad being there, playing catch repeatedly. We would walk around in circles with our arms sticking out, throwing the football to see if I could hit the hand, so he would lead me into throwing passes. As far as like athletes, y'all are going to crack up when I say it. Jerry Rice. I mean,
wow,
that's the GOAT. He was amazing. I absolutely loved it. His work ethic was phenomenal. Till this day, he will run that hill that he's ran every day since he started and have rookies half his age tiring out. It's amazing to see that. Joe Montana, GOAT. Amazing. When I saw that combination at my first football game, I just fell in love. And football was where it was at for me. And then I was told, you can't do it because you're a girl. Oh, well, not only can I do it, but I'm going to do it better than you, And ironically enough, my husband and I, at the ages of 12 and 13, fell in love with each other playing football in the streets. And him sticking up for me, going, no, she can play. She can play and she can be better than you. And it was, good to know that there are people out there that have your back. So, I mean, some of the inspiration comes from them, a lot of it from the parents, and then my own determination, a couple of coaches along the way. Had a high school volleyball coach that was phenomenal, a middle school volleyball coach that was phenomenal, football coach that stuck by me despite fighting the school board. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I loved what you said too about, your biggest competitor every day is yourself. The only person you be fighting for and rooting for the most is yourself every day. So I think that that's really cool. And that speaks volumes too when it comes to athletes. Yeah, you're playing the game and you're playing the sport. But at the end of the day, you're not competing with, your teammates or the other team. You're really competing with yourself, and the goals that you set for yourself. So yeah, I love that. I think that's great.
What about you, Amanda? I know that you've got a different kind of hill to climb with your kiddo.
Yeah, I do. So as some of you know, I have a 9-year-old boy who was diagnosed at 1.5 years with autism. And, whenever somebody tells you that they're never going to be able to do something, or anybody tells me I'm never going to be able to do anything, the biggest thing I want to do is prove them wrong.
Right.
and I want my son to prove them wrong. And
Oh, yeah.
so, you know, and I have amazing parents who raise their children right, that you love and respect everyone, and you have a passion in life, you have a goal, you go for it. But you don't just get handed that. You have to work for that. And so, you know, with Blake, I have a lot of things that I want him to achieve, but I'm not him. This is not, you know, I'm not Blake, I'm his mom, and I want him to do what he loves to do because he loves to do it. And when it comes to sports, for instance, today he had a field day at school, and his teacher asked me if he can do certain activities that they have. And unfortunately, my son has a feeding tube and an ileostomy. And so there are some things on top of his autism. So there are some things that he's not able to do for medical necessity purposes, of course. But it would break my heart tenfold to say, no, Blake, you can't do them. But we can try. You know, we can do the best that we can. But he has surpassed all of his IEP goals, which is amazing. He's being put in the mainstream classroom more.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He has graduated out of occupational therapy and ABA therapy.
That's perfect.
And I think my biggest competition for myself as a mom is letting go, is letting him do. Sorry, I'm going to get emotional. Is
You're good.
letting him do all of that. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's a very rewarding thing. Being a mom in general is very rewarding. But it's like sports. You have to work for it. You want
It's
it.
true.
You have to work for it. You have to earn it. And
Right.
you have to do whatever it takes. Like, for instance, even with this network, right? It started with one show. Now it's a network full of different shows, and we have an all-women show. Who knew would be
Who'd have
on.
thought?
So in 5 years, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but in 5 years, we were able to all come together and make this happen, and it's very special. So, you know, like with Blake, as much as I would love for him to play football, as much as I would love for him to play soccer, that may not be in the cards, but bowling is an option. So we're looking at bowling, and he loves bowling. So there's just, you know, and also when anybody tells me no, do you hear me? That is a word I do not like. I do
Right.
not like the word no. But here's what we can do. So also giving those options, and you want your child to succeed. So you're going to do whatever it takes for your child to succeed. So to me, a no is not an option. There's always things that can be replaced for that no.
Mhm.
And I'm still learning that. Even
Right.
as a mom, I feel like we're
Yeah.
all guilty of that. But when it comes to sports, I mean, honestly, and when I was born, my dad said my head was shaped like a football. Okay. Like
Well, there you go.
so he said, he literally told my mom to go long when I came out. So it was one of those things where he instilled it in me. My family, all my family is into sports. And the one thing that I would have hoped for and would have loved is if my son could play sports. But the best part about it is that he still can. It may
Right.
not be like any other sport, but you sure do see bowling on TV. You sure do see cards. I'm sorry, but people can think what they want to, but playing cards at a table is a sport. Just saying. It's not
That's
easy. It's a competition. It's extremely hard. And it's on ESPN and televised. So yeah, it is a sport to me.
it counts.
There you go.
It does count.
You know,
It
and
does count.
And like I said earlier about my daughter, she wasn't very athletic, right? But that doesn't mean you can't be part of the team, that you can't contribute, right? So I know he may not actually participate in the sport, but there's a lot of things that he can do to be part of the team. And
Mhm.
yes, besides football, I'm actually on a bowling team. And so it's an all girl, all female team. There's 4 of us on there. And the name of our bowling team is called the Dolls with Balls. Boom. So there we go.
Well, okay.
But y'all didn't know that about me.
That is so good. I love that. I really do.
Look, I'm too old to be doing any more sports. Y'all, that's for young folks. I'm not doing it
Come on.
anymore.
I'm older than you, Amber. Come on.
Look, I used to play. I used to get out there in softball. That's how I got into coaching. I used to do rec softball at co-ed, recreational softball. And I'll tell you, man, some of these guys are reliving their glory days from college or something, or high school or whatever. But I get every once in a while, I make a hit. There was one time I made a hit and I got to second base, and the guy in the outfield, because it went over him, he got irritated and he goes, "It's supposed to be boy, girl, boy, girl." And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "Well, you show me yours and I'll show you mine."
There you go.
He didn't like that too much.
Yeah, I probably that. But I guess the reason why I wanted to do and listen, idiot, it is to a sport. Rude. I can say that to him.
Oh
What
yeah.
I'm saying is the moral of it all is that, again, moms put so much pressure on their shoulders every day to do what is in the best interest of, you hope, themselves, but most importantly, their children.
Right.
And I think that it's easy to lose who we are as women going through all of this every day. So it's important to make sure that we all take time for ourselves. We all do things that help, soothe the mind and all of that. I love to go running when I'm stressed.
Okay.
Running is a big thing of mine. I have done 5Ks before. I have.
Me too.
I have. I
do you run them or do you walk them? I only walk them.
Why?
Because I can't run.
What is this?
He's
So,
ambushing us.
hold on a second. I got my stuff all messed up.
Get out of here.
Typical.
All women, last I checked. That's all he came on here to do.
You want to show off that he's an athlete and that he can walk and talk at the same time?
Mm.
Yeah, walk from the door to the couch. Okay, not that far.
Man. No, I mean, I've ran so much, it's unreal.
Hello,
Cracker.
ladies. How are you? I have to say something here. There was an announcement that we made. Hold on, I'm only on here for a few minutes, and I have to say something. There was an announcement made on Tuesday, so I'm going on all of the shows to announce with Gateway City Sports. It's shows like this, the women's show that you guys have done, our Girl Chat Sports show that we have started, our Bottom Line, B-Hawk Live, X-Fan Show, Smoking Guns,
Right.
the Arena STL show. I could go on and on and on. Jersey the King. It's fans and you guys, shows like this, the content you guys have created that has caused us to get to the point to where we are and blow up. You're right, Amber. And I have to say, I'm very proud of this show. How you three have gelled very well together, and how Amanda here, who was the hyena, has come into her own as a host with dealing. I know you guys are kind of having more of a sentimental type show, explaining what moms do and stuff like that, and all the stuff that she goes through on a daily basis with taking care of her son, and then dealing with the Autism Speaks that she's putting on. Shout out to the Battlehawks this weekend for allowing Amanda to put that event on there at the stadium and stuff like that. So, ladies, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for getting us to where we are and to getting the merger of Fuel with Gateway City Sports. Much, much love to all three of you. And, sweetie, I love you. Keep up the good work. I'm going upstairs to produce the show.
Thank you.
Get out of here with your mushy stuff.
Well, I have a pretty big announcement, if I must say something.
I swear, if you say what I think you're about to say, we're going to box.
No. Oh,
okay,
no.
good.
Oh no. So we now have a partnership with Autism Speaks, everybody.
That is phenomenal.
I know. I'm so excited. And I know that he had brought up, yes, Autism Speaks was at the St. Louis Battlehawk game this last weekend. Thank you so much, Brandon Williams, for assisting that, and his assistant, Nora. That was really awesome. We really appreciated all of your help with making this special day very special for them, because I must say it was the kids' faces was like
Awesome.
literally, they loved it. They loved it. They thought it was great. They were dancing when the music came on. They were using their calming and coping strategies if it was too loud. I was so proud of them, and it was really cool. Big shout out to Von Hutchins also. He came over to where we were on the field, and who some of you may not know, he is a coach from DC.
Right.
He came over and spoke with a bunch of us while we were on the side, and we have some exciting things that are going to be in the works with that I cannot say. But it's pretty cool and pretty exciting. So be on the lookout for that soon. But shout out to him. Thank you so much for coming over and making their day and taking pictures.
Well, Amanda, props to you for getting it all started.
Bravo. Good job, girl.
I mean, it's a phenomenal thing when you just have a thought and you can envision it and bring it to fruition, and you bringing your passions of football and Autism Speaks together to collide in a phenomenal event is more than extraordinary, and that's kudos and all due to you. So don't let you get flowers too, honey. Don't let anyone take that away from you. You deserve that, and good job for you. I'm hoping to see it again next year, and I'm hoping to see it in more than just one city. I would
That's
love
true.
for the UFL to get behind this and make this an Autism Speaks Day across the league, and all of the cities get involved. I know if you need my help, I'm here in Houston. I'll make it happen. Whatever you need, whatever you want.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Swear to
I do
God,
have
if
another
you don't
announcement.
go
Hold on.
away, dude. Go.
Hold on. Because the Autism Speaks event here in St. Louis was done so well, what Amanda is just now getting ready to find out is that the UFL will be reaching out to her and Autism Speaks to get sensory rooms put in all the stadiums next year for the UFL because of the work that she did here in St. Louis.
Oh,
talked to him today
Panda.
about it, and it looks like it's going to happen. So that was the other big announcement that I didn't tell her. I wanted to surprise her on the show, even though she's all in a
Yeah,
Kissy
she's
mode.
gonna punch you afterwards. You know that, right?
Don't cover your face, girl. Be proud.
That
You
is
did it.
awesome.
He's in trouble because he did not tell me any of that before this.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And also big shout out to Alexis Warshaw and also none other than Dee Dee McCarron too for
Yes.
getting this going. It was really special to talk with her, and she was extremely on board, very passionate about that as well. So very
I'm hoping
supportive.
to see her on the show soon, because I definitely
that'd
want to
be
see how
great.
she ignites some of these causes so we can get the teams involved a little bit more, and hopefully the fans involved. I'd love
For
to see like
sure.
volunteer events between the teams and the fans doing something together, food bank donations or Autism Speaks, for example, maybe something in speech pathology. You never
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I think like when we
might
have the
wanna
breast awareness and all the players wear pink socks or pink gloves,
yeah.
maybe we could do that. It's simple, but it speaks volumes. Just
It
all
does.
be together, even if it's just the one color. If we could do that, that would be mind blowing. And I wanted to tell you, Amanda, that sometimes we don't understand why things happen to us, but it's a God thing and it's a blessing. You may not be where you are today if things didn't happen the way they went in your life, right? I know sometimes as women, we often say, well, why me? Why me? Why did this happen? Everything has a purpose. Everything is a blessing. And you just have to learn to give yourself some grace. Just remember that.
Thank you.
And we're here
Well,
for you
I have to say,
as women because we've all been there, different aspects, but we know your pain. We know your sacrifice. We know your dedication, and we are here for you and for all women and for all other mothers who are going through the same situation.
It shows, Amanda. It really does show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, I
kudos to
always
you, girl. You
say,
did it.
I will say this. You know, my son was 7.5 weeks early. He was 3 pounds, 13 ounces when he was born. And then, you know, at a year and a half, and I almost lost my son the day he was born. It was a pretty crazy day. My parents would be the first to vouch. Pretty crazy day. But then with his diagnosis at a year and a half, it's one of those things where you feel like when you get kicked down, you just have to get up. So this kind of stuff is what makes it worth it for me too. You know, like doing this A-Team show, having all of us come together so that we can talk about this very special stuff. And, you know, thank you so much to the UFL for, you know, doing this. It really means a lot to me, but I want to be clear. This isn't about me. It's not about the fact that I did the autism event or anything like that. It's the faces, seeing these children's faces. Ugh, like I literally saw them and I was welling up and had to turn the other way and then regroup. So it's like just
Right.
how happy they were to be able to have this amazing experience is just, it's unfathomable. And RC, like you said, faith is very important to me. It is, and my family has been my entire life. And I truly believe that I know he's on my side. So it's just, we all as moms got to stick together. You know, it's easy to be bitter, cold, resentful, but at the same time, it feels so much better to be on the up and up. So just got to keep plugging. So
We have
now
to
we're
be
going to
each
put all that
other's
emotional.
cheerleaders.
Yeah, right. We have to be each other's cheerleaders. Yeah. So you guys ready for let's do picks. You guys have anything you want to say about the
Congratulations to the San Antonio Roughnecks for
We
making the
clinched it.
playoffs.
That's right. I was going to mention that.
Good job, Wade. I'm happy for y'all. I'm you know, the Stallions, man, I'm gonna tell y'all that was, I told y'all we were gonna lose it. I knew we were. It was a great fight, great effort. It was the most points scored for the Roughnecks in a game during the season. So I was very proud of how well they persevered and gave them a run. The undefeated team gave them a run for their money. And the Horsemen tailgate, shout out to those guys. Chase, you are awesome. Your group is awesome. It was a phenomenal experience. Absolutely a great venue. It rained. We stuck it out and it was a lot of fun. So I enjoyed traveling to Birmingham. I'm looking forward for my next travel game. Not this week, but next week. So we'll talk about that next Wednesday.
how was your experience out there? You had a really good time in Birmingham then?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely enjoyed it. We, you know, it was eclectic. Food was sponsored. I was surprised to see that. I spoke to them about Warrior Wishes, and I'm hoping to see some veteran families get hosted. I'm gonna make that connection here soon, and maybe they can get involved in it. So far, I've got San Antonio, I've got Dallas. I reached out to St. Louis. I'm reaching out to the Stallions. You know, DC. It's coming around slowly but surely. It's coming around. So, huge shout out to Craig and Warrior Wishes. Thank you for being patient. I'm trying to keep my word in extending the veteran hosting to the tailgates. Understand it's coming out of the fans' pockets, you know. That's where it's not, this isn't something that like the teams themselves have any initiative with, but more so the fans. And that's what Fuel is about. We're trying to drive that connection and make some unforgettable moments. And you know, if the teams get involved, great. You know, and if our Houston is doing tickets. So I'm happy to see that. I'm hoping that part of it extends out so fans and veteran families get the ultimate experience, you know?
Well, and I have to give a shout out to Houston. You know, their media in Houston does an awesome job of showcasing the super fans. I love it. San Antonio is good too. And I love seeing the videos of coaches letting loose. I love seeing all of that. Like, that's how we
Yeah.
really get to know the coaches and the players more, and even the super fans, so that everyone can go up to, Miss Amber and her husband and all of that, like at the game, and Rig. Like, it's just cool to see the super fans getting the recognition that they deserve for making the trips and
Right.
all of the miles on the vehicles and all of that stuff. It's so nice to see the super fans and
And just so y'all know, Stanley the Stallion was an awesome mascot host.
Well, there you go.
yeah, this
And
is
I wanted to give a huge shout out to Dee Jean. She actually is Wade Phillips' sister. And so if you go back Monday, we had the Smoking Guns podcast, and we had her live on the podcast. And she said that tailgating in San Antonio has been the best that she has been. Now, that's a woman who's done a lot of tailgating. And for her to say that about San Antonio, and how friendly we were and how giving and the whole atmosphere. And so, getting to know these people and the fans, and like you said, the super fans and the sister of the coach, that's what it's all about, And I told people we're more like a family than just fans. We really look out for each other, and anyone and everyone is invited this Saturday to come out to tailgate with us. We're just down the street from lot B and C over there by Cherry and Montana.
I'll be there.
It's $20. Come look for us. I'm going to be having some treats. Again, we always collect cans for the food bank, so bring at least a can. And you already know that, Amber.
I'm bringing my cans and bringing my cans. I'll see you Saturday.
Cans to San Antonio, girl.
Because why?
Fun out there.
Sunday, the Roughnecks are playing their last home game on Sunday, and it'll be Military Appreciation Day for us.
Awesome.
So that's going to be a phenomenal thing to see all the veterans out there. I'm looking forward to it.
And we actually have a yellow out, so wear all yellow that you have.
Yeah, no, I'm not wearing that color.
You're not wearing yellow, but it's military.
It's not in my wheelhouse. Blue and red are my colors.
Okay, you're the exception. Everyone else in San Antonio wear yellow except Amber. So there.
And the UFL, if you're watching, you need to have the Predator couple on that field.
Oh,
when
gosh.
You literally announce military. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yep, absolutely.
It's going to be Memorial Day weekend. Okay, guys. I get Veterans Day later on in the year. Memorial Day is about those that made the ultimate sacrifice. I appreciate the love and the support, but the real support, we go to your local veteran cemetery, put a wreath down. If you knew a soldier, put a coin on their tombstone, and let them and their families know that they're not forgotten.
Right. My godson, with his Boy Scout troop, they're going this weekend to put flags on each.
Doing the flags? Yeah.
Yes. So very proud of my Noah.
Yeah, that's very, I have a lot of family members that have served too. So, we thank you. Most importantly, from us here at the A Team, we thank you for your service. Amber, we love you.
Like I said, Memorial Day is for those that have paid the ultimate price.
No, it's still very special.
We'll wait till Veterans Day for me.
Deal.
All right, guys. So let's do our picks before we get off.
Yeah, let's get into the picks.
All right, St. Louis and Arlington. Shh, don't take too long to think about this.
Go ahead, RC. You first.
I'm going St. Louis. My famous or my favorite Battlehawk is Jared Jones-Smith. He was with the Commanders here in San Antonio almost 6 years ago. So I'm cheering for him, and I'm cheering for his mom, Shirley. We're still connected even 6 years later, and our common thread is football. So I'm going with St. Louis.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go with the Banditos tailgate and cheering on the Renegades for this one. I feel like Luis is finally starting to gel a little bit. I know that there's been some issues. I know there's been some injuries.
What kind of gel are you talking about?
I know. I
love Luis Perez. Back in the AAF. I love him.
He's getting there. It's a process, but he's getting there.
Well,
He's
Nah,
a
but
good
honestly,
player on a bad team. I said it, and I'm done.
look, I was trying to be nice about it, RC.
Well, I'm not going to be nice about it. That's the truth. I've known him for 6 years when we were the AAF, and he was a great quarterback then. Still
Yeah.
a great quarterback, but he's on the wrong team. So sorry, Luis.
I'm throwing some spice in there. I'm gonna go for the Renegades on that one.
All right.
Don't let me down, guys.
and of course, I'm going with STL. That's what I'm going with. Okay, so the next one is Birmingham and Brahmas.
Oh,
Game of the week.
Well,
my
you know who
opinion.
I'm going for. That's a given.
Yes, RC.
Brahmas, horns
is tough.
forward.
I'm
And
I'm
it's
going
in San Antonio,
Stallions.
isn't it? Is it? It's in San Antonio. Yeah.
It is in San
Yeah,
Antonio.
this is our last home game.
Ugh.
Can these Stallions pull out the undefeated season? Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, stay tuned.
I'm going Brahmas, you guys.
There you go.
Yes.
Horns forward, baby.
I am. I don't know what. I don't know. I just have this feeling.
It's a toss up. It
It
really
also
is.
depends on who the quarterback is going to be, because Garbers is back from the injured list. So we don't know if he's going to start, if Dormandy's going to start. I like Hogan, and I think there's power in the mustache. So I think the key element is who's going to be the quarterback.
Can I just say that has to be the most perfect mustache I have
I
ever
love
seen.
it. Love it.
It's like
I have
Oh.
like 50 mustaches that I'm going to take tailgating. Anybody wants to wear them, come look for me.
that is
I'm
so-
gonna have to side with the Brony squad here, and the Horsemen, and go with the Stallions. I'm sorry, the numbers don't lie. They're undefeated.
yeah, that is
But
true.
every team can lose one game.
They could. I just don't see it happening this
And it's
week.
going to be this weekend. It's going to be this
Ah.
weekend.
They're gonna be like the 72 Dolphins and go undefeated. I'm telling y'all.
Nope.
Or like the 2020 Roughnecks before COVID. We were undefeated at one point.
Y'all were undefeated for what? Four games?
5 weeks. 5 weeks. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That was until Kirkland got hurt. Kirkland got hurt. Y'all just went down the pooper. All right, let's.
COVID hit. What are you talking? A
I
pandemic
know.
was the only thing that made us lose.
The whole country
Well,
went poop.
Well, I guess that sucks for them, right?
Now, who do y'all think are gonna end up? Are we making changes now? Y'all
No.
saw the playoff lineup. Who do y'all think are gonna end up for the championship?
Hold on. Let's finish these picks first. DC Defenders, DC and Memphis.
I'm going to go Memphis.
Tugboats, or do you got the beer cups or beer? snakes?
I'm sorry, I can't go with the fake snake. I'm gonna go with the no boats.
Tugboats.
That's what I'm writing down.
What
Nah,
was that?
Memphis. I think Memphis is gonna pull it out over
Make that noise
DC.
again, Amber. Let me hear your horn.
Mhm.
You were in the
My
band,
tugboat.
right? You knew someone in the band?
That was good. All right, RC, you said Memphis.
I did say Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's so kind of you, but I'm going with DC. Sorry about you. Okay.
Oh, gotta have some contention.
I'm a Reggie Barlow fan, big time.
I hear
And
that.
I think that Te'amu will
Really?
be just
What about the Flippo?
all right. Next game, Michigan Panthers versus the Roughnecks.
Oh, I am hoping that the Roughnecks are going to pull this one out. I think trying to get a win at home, finally, make it 2. I'll be so happy to see that happen.
You
I'm
mean
going
the
with
Salt
Houston.
Lake? You're going with Houston.
I'm sending all my love and all my positive your way. Here it goes.
Well, me unfortunately am not. I'm going with the Panthers.
You see what I did? I picked all of our 1-6 teams. I got a feeling they're gonna pull a deuce.
It's a
You did
goose.
not with the Stallions. You didn't. You shut
Oh
it.
yeah, the Stallions are undefeated.
Is that to counteract? Is that to
But wait, the Stallions.
balance it out somehow by you doing that?
No, I picked the Renegades. I
Okay.
picked the Renegades and the Boats and the Roughnecks. Those are our 1-6 teams.
Oh my gosh, your husband.
I'm going
Amber.
for the Hail Mary, baby. It's the end of the season. I'm trying to
Might
get
as
me
well
some
start
wins.
praying.
I feel like
No
they
harm in
got the
praying.
grit. They got the rocks in their stomach and they're trying to make it grind out. I'm
Or in
telling
their
you.
twos, one of the two.
All right.
Well, on that note, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the A Team. You got Amber. And you got Miss RC, beautiful RC.
Shout out to my daughter, Francesca Carranza. Love you, girl. Proud
Yes,
of you.
thank you so much for letting us talk about all of our children today and our family members. We love it.
And of course, last but not least, Miss Amanda. Thank you. We got to give some props there.
You're the heart of the team. You're the heart.
You guys are sweet. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll tune in next Wednesday at 7. And best believe y'all are not going to want to miss this one. So we'll see you all next week at 7 o'clock.
Didn't we drop that hint? We dropped a hint, right? With a mom and a son.
Yeah, y'all hear that? Some about somebody's son and that plays for the UFL that may be a
And then
quarterback son.
mama.
All right, on that note, well, we got to get out of here. But y'all might have seen her at tailgates. Anyway, this girl's got to go. Bye.